Darkcast Network, out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing
1998's Fallen, directed by Gregory Hoblit.
This is an interesting insert into the J Squared Horror Podcast.
It is.
Before we get into the episode, though, we would like to let anyone new to our channel know what, Jake?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
You also find us on Spotify,
We're on there.
Apple, as well as Google.
Yes, we are.
Also on Instagram,
Yes.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk all things horror. With this podcast, we would like to be the most original horror podcast, meaning we do not just review movies. We do not just go over movies. What we do is open up a genuine conversation between friends about horror movies, what it would be like to be in them, what it would be like to experience different aspects of these movies. We would like our fans to involve themselves, and we would like them to chime in with any ideas or inserts about different movies. It is a conversation-based podcast versus an information-based podcast, so that way we can bring something new and fun to horror podcasting.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. It just came to me, and I had to run with it. What I would also like to mention is www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. Why is that important, Jake?
That's how you can stay up to date with us as well as communicate with us.
Yes, the reason, or not the reason, being that we would like to be the most original horror podcast and an inclusive horror podcast, we would like you guys to chime in to let us know what you guys would like to hear episodes on. You can also be involved in episodes when we decide to do things like a Would You Rather, which hasn't panned out quite like we wanted, but that's okay. We'll still cover the couple that we've gotten. If you guys are interested at all, you can let us know. If not, we'll cover a couple on like another episode that we can just figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you have episode ideas, if you want to be on the podcast, if you have a crazy fact you want to mention about something we've covered, we can read it on the next episode. We would like to involve our fans completely in our podcast. So if you go to that website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com, you can talk to us easily. Also, you can comment down below on YouTube. You can comment on any of our Instagram posts. But if you're not on any social media or on YouTube, go to the website, check us out. It is super easy to navigate. What I'd also like to mention is Paranormality Magazine. Paranormality Magazine is the paranormal, strange, and unusual magazine. I said that shit backwards. Paranormality Magazine has been great to the J Squared Horror Podcast. We were ranked number 3 on the top paranormal podcast. We would like to be number 1. So if you go to their website, you can click on the 3 dots. You can find the drop down that says vote for your podcast, top 10 paranormal. You can put our names in there 3 times and we'll get votes every time. We would like to be number 1, obviously for promotional purposes or just for other people to know who the hell we are, because we would like more people to know our podcast.
You would.
And if you guys are fans of the podcast, obviously you would probably like more people to know about us. So that would be great. You can also go there and you can buy the magazine. You can do the digital. You can get t-shirts, and if you use code J2Horror at checkout, you get 10% off of anything you purchase there. So that's also a fun little boop for our fans. Now, Fallen from 1998 is unlike anything we've covered before, meaning that this is very much crime-based or cop-based versus just horror. But if you listened at the end of last week's episode, I said it has a spooky twist to it. And it does. And it's a lot of fun. It is an exciting movie, but it's also very real. It's not fake. It's not anything that is too far-fetched. So I enjoyed that very much. How did you feel about it?
I loved it.
You've seen this one before multiple times, or?
I remember as a kid, my mom renting this movie from Blockbuster.
Oh, for all of our younger fans, that was a place we could rent movies.
So I remember as a kid watching this movie, and then teenager, early 20s, and recently, yesterday,
obviously, yeah, real recent,
watching it again. To me, it still holds up. It's a very good movie. I think it's one of the forgotten Denzel Washington movies as well.
I would say that's 1,000% true because I am a big Denzel Washington fan. I like the majority of movies that he does. Now, how I didn't know about his one insert into horror, I'm not sure. It is probably one of those ones that kind of gets swept under the rug because it falls in that gray area of crime and horror, which is something that I think should be mentioned more, especially for horror podcasts, or just horror anything, because it's not just slashers. It's not just, demons in a certain aspect, or it's not just monsters in a certain aspect.
Yeah.
Where you can actually have the ability to combine all of that in a very realistic way. The best way to describe it is Seven with demons. And it gives you that vibe throughout this entire movie.
I agree with that.
Seven is a movie that is known amongst most movie fans. Most people know Seven. It's got Morgan Freeman. It's got Brad Pitt. What's in the box?
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you don't know the movie, you know that one.
Yeah, you know what's in the box. You know what that's from. Where this movie, I think the reason we can include it in the horror realm is because of the little bit of a twist it has versus it just being a single killer, which, true crime is fine. Obviously, with being a part of the Darkcast Network, we have an appreciation for true crime podcasts, but there's a lot of people out there sharing that information, so we don't have to. But it doesn't quite fall into the horror category. It's just realism. It's realistic because those people existed. And not saying that the killer from Seven existed, but people like that have. But this movie, on the other hand, is about a detective, Denzel Washington, who catches a serial killer. This serial killer is like crazy, like Manson style, like just out of his head, bonkers crazy. But also it's interesting because it shows the people's beginning obsession with serial killers because there's documentary cameras and people in there when Denzel goes to say his final words to him right before he gets killed. So it was interesting to me that this movie came out in 1998. And obviously True Crime Podcast came out quite a bit later, but also it shows that people are obsessed with killers. I don't know if it's a survival thing. I don't know if it's because we're all kind of dark and demented.
I was just going to ask, why do you think that is?
Well, I've asked some females because true crime is very female oriented. I know that the Morbid Podcast, I think that's what they're called. They're very intriguing. It's two women that run it. But women love listening to it. And I've asked around why. And it's basically like to prepare or to be ready or to be aware of certain situations that could either save your life or protect you from potential threats.
So they're pretty much like survival preparation podcast for them.
Basically, but also I think it is still intriguing because like how dark and demented a lot of us are. Like there's obviously that aspect.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to find some, don't take this the wrong way if you guys are one of these, but overly religious person that's super, super into this stuff because it's dark and creepy.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that that's bad. It's just what you're into. And I think that there are a mass amount of women or men that are freaked out about when they close a bar down at 2:33 a.m. and they have to walk out to their car because that's when a lot of bad shit happens. Somebody recognizes you as the bartender. You're the pretty bartender. You're the interesting bartender. The next thing you know, you're getting sliced and diced and you're on the next Morbid Podcast.
Yeah, so I'm sure listening to this podcast will prepare you to avoid these situations.
Just to look out for the warning signs. And so this movie, though, it's interesting because you have that and you're like, okay, this is crazy. And he says like a chant, so it kind of is like intense. And then you realize throughout the movie that it's passed via touch. And that's how this entity is passed from person to person.
So the first time I saw this, actually, every time I've seen it prior to yesterday, I always thought it was just the serial killer was his soul being passed.
That's what I thought.
But to know it was right in him prior to, like, oh shit. Yeah. That never crossed my mind at any point besides when
This
I watched
time.
it yesterday.
I think
I mentioned before doing the podcast, watching the movie and listening in a different type of way. It is still for enjoyment, but now it's like me really listen to it
Yeah.
kind of thing.
let me see what's going on. Let me find out interesting things to talk
Yeah,
about.
and that was new to me.
And yeah, well, this is my first time ever watching this movie. So I did watch it for the first time
Yeah.
with the podcast mentality of pay attention. Unfortunately, I had to break this up into 2 sessions because Verizon's internet yesterday was just shit. So I deal with a lot of Wi-Fi issues in my place. And so we actually just finished it. Poor Jake. Poor Jake had to watch it again. But no, you're right. And it's crazy because there's a part in this movie where it's being passed like person. And you're like, holy shit, like this is crazy. It's intense. Like you don't know what's going to happen. But the fun thing about this movie is it completely separates the idea of the serial killer. It's a demon. It's an evil entity that's doing this. So if you're a horror fan, you can obviously then connect it to movies like Evil Dead or something of that nature, where it's very specifically demon, historical based, book based, that you can then do research on as the heroine of trying to figure it out.
Which I did like about that is there is a point where they get off the serial killer.
Yeah, the
And they
serial killer
realize-
is done.
Yeah, they realize it's more than that.
Which makes this movie more interesting for someone like me because we get so much
Yeah.
serial killer shit with, obviously there's been a lot of real ones, but it is fun and exciting when you get the point of, instead of it being just people looking into it like Evil Dead, for instance, what you're getting is a detective that's at the top of his game looking into it.
Yeah.
And I think that adds a lot of realism and comfort, but also, holy shit, if this guy is kind of freaking out, what would the average person be like if they were dealing with it? So Denzel Washington does a phenomenal job in this movie. There's also John Goodman, a Sutherland,
Yeah, Donald Sutherland.
yeah, and some other people. The girl from 13 Ghosts is in here, not the hot one, the other one, the one that gets smushed in the glass. But no,
Yeah, she was the teacher in Matilda.
the good teacher, not the bad teacher.
Miss Honey. Yeah, that was her name.
Well, I don't know. I only watched Matilda like once.
No, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's not a bad movie.
I'm not a Matilda expert by any
I'm not either.
I don't know. You're dropping Matilda facts. You're dropping Matilda facts on our podcast.
During 13 Ghosts, I was also going. I think no one cares.
That's the first time I've ever thought I saw her was in 13.
But now it's the second time
and
I
it
see her.
was you that
Gotta
told me.
mention
Yeah,
that.
it was you that told me that it was her. I thought it was the chick from American Horror Story younger. So I was like, damn, I'm completely wrong. I don't know and I'm usually pretty good about actors and actresses because
Yeah, you are.
I immediately, if I recognize somebody, hop on my app and I go to the #1 trusted app in all movie fans' lives. It's IMDb. I've been using that since like it wasn't an app. I was going on my computer back
typing it
when
in?
MapQuest. I would MapQuest my route to my friend's house, and then I would check IMDb for the actors and actresses. If you guys want to show our age even more than Blockbuster.
I always think about MapQuest every now and then.
Yeah, the fact that we had to print out 7 pages of
Yeah.
directions that we had to read while we were driving. And they say distracted driving is bad now. I was reading a phone book of directions in order to go to Food Lion. That was away from my normal one.
Yeah,
But also this movie, I was going to say this though, that's crazy that this worked, is what you're seeing is like detectiving, being a detective.
detective work.
Yeah, but in the 90s. Like nowadays, it's all like you can break out, your smartphone and like look up anything and everything. These guys' desks were the most stressful places in the world. They had folders and sheets.
It reminds me of
Oh my God.
early Law and Order.
I didn't watch it. And I know that this director did a lot with TV shows, and he has like a bunch of Emmys and things like that.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I just heard it when we were trying to hear his name. He did some really interesting stuff with that, but obviously it showed in this movie because it was cop oriented.
Did he do Law and Order
I don't think he
or
did.
like L.A. Law or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can tell because that aspect of it is
Was
very
very well
very
done.
driven from like
Yeah.
the detective aspect.
Yeah, but I think it gives a nice breath of fresh air to horror because usually the cops are like Dewey and they suck, and it's like we've talked many times about like
About terrible cops, yeah.
Yeah, who would be a good cop in the horror? Well, I finally have a who would be a good cop in the horror realm, maybe.
Yes. Now we need like episode like a top 10 cops in horror movies.
Yeah, if you guys would be interested in that, comment down below or comment on Instagram if you guys
I'm
want
sure
to hear.
I'm sure they won't. So
Don't say that. don't be me right now. Our fans are great. We love all of our fans, but if you guys just have the time, comment down below that you would like to hear a themed episode about the 10 worst or best cops. In horror
or we can
films.
do a Would You Rather.
We could. We've been mentioning it for a couple of episodes now.
That is my point.
But that's kind of mean, Don't be mean to our fans. Maybe that's why they don't do it, because we feel like we're going to bully them.
What they need is honesty.
They don't.
Tough love.
They don't. We have to coddle. We have to coddle and protect our fans. I love you guys, each and every single one of you that listen to our podcast.
Yeah, I tolerate most of you.
No, but my question to you is, this movie has a lot of family, and you also meet the lady, like we said, that's from 13 Ghosts, and she has her own little backstory. Neither one of us are cops in any capacity.
No.
But let's just say you're a detective.
Boom.
All right, let's go ahead and get in the mood.
All
You're
right.
a late 90s detective.
Okay.
All right. You just quit smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
You're trying to figure shit out. You just caught one of the most fucked up serial killers of all time.
I'm feeling myself right now.
Yeah, man. And you get the phone calls and you start getting these pieces of this puzzle. When you find out that you're no longer what seems like dealing with this world, how do you think you're going to take that? You're very, in my opinion, just naturally a very on paper, here's what it is, this is what it is kind of person. So, like, would it be a stretch for you to understand what they're saying or what you're getting? Like, would you handle it like Denzel, or do you think you'd handle it differently?
I would do what he did once I figured out the riddle between the two names, figuring out who it is, going to the daughter. Once I find the books or I'm talking to her,
Yeah.
and it seems kind of outlandish what we're going through,
Yeah.
I would trust that path and see that through. So pretty much what he does.
So you'd be very Denzel-esque.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, no, that can't be it. Because I watched this man die, but I'm getting the exact same thing. Same phone calls, same MO.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to follow, because reality tells me what I'm thinking makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
for
to
sure.
have a clear, on paper explanation of what could be happening, I follow that.
So, hypothetically speaking, once again, there's John Goodman's also in this movie, and
It's great, by the way.
yeah, he's phenomenal in this film. He's never bad in most things that he does. I think Cloverfield, whatever the address, Cloverfield really showed his range. But John Goodman is in this movie, and I know most of you guys probably don't know my last name, but I tell a lot of people I'm related to John Goodman because we do, in fact, share the same last name. And my question to you is, right, so let's just say we're cops together. We've been partners for 12 years, just like them.
Okay.
Do you trust me to go with you, or do you handle it completely alone like Denzel did? Because that's where I think you and Denzel would differ, but that could just be me being cocky and you trusting me more than I might think you do.
I feel like something like that I would share with you,
Yeah.
which he does with him as well.
But to an extent, he shares it after.
Do
I
I?
just don't see you going to the cabin without me.
What's crazy is watching that scene, I thought in my head, no fucking way. I wouldn't do that. The second when the roof falls, I'm like,
down.
I'm out.
And it's like covered in cobwebs.
Yeah.
It's super creepy.
So I definitely would let you know and say, hey, this is the game plan.
Yeah.
I need you with me. I know what I'm telling you sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but I need you to see it through with me.
Yeah, I would. I'd be there. I'd be better than John Goodman's character.
How would you do it?
Jonesy. Oh, dude. Well, the thing is like it would have to be flipped. I would never be Denzel's character. I would have, depending on how you reacted to some of the things I was telling you, I would probably go alone. And that's not me not trusting you.
So you would go alone.
It's not me not trusting you.
Sounds like it.
No, it's not. What it is, though, is me trying to protect you. That's the doozy.
So you think he was protecting Jonesy?
No. That's why I said I'm different than Denzel's character. No, because I would be Jonesy and you would be Denzel.
Oh, Jonesy would 100% not go on his own, though.
Oh, well, maybe I'm better than Jonesy and Denzel.
You could be.
Maybe. The thing is I know you as a person, and like you just told everyone, you'd be like, fuck no, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm going to a creepy cabin where some crazy shit might be, and I've already kind of learned that this might be demonic based from the daughter.
If it's 2 people, I would go.
Yeah.
Alone, I would not go.
But still, even then, why would I put you in that situation? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
if I feel like I can handle it myself, I wouldn't put you in that situation. Now, if I was like, if my gut was telling me like, yeah, 4 hands are better than 2. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
2 brains are better than 1. Then, in that instance, I would be like, hear me out, Jake. You can stay in the car. If I need you, I'll walk you. You know what I mean? Like, I would keep you as much out of it, but still having you there. Maybe like you would ride in the car with me, but I wouldn't make you go in the house until shit hit the fan.
I'm not sitting in the car by myself.
You might. I don't know. I mean, it's creepy regardless.
We're in some secluded cabin. Okay, I brought you here, but don't come inside.
Yeah,
just sit in here
stay in the
in
car.
case shit gets weird.
Yeah, if shit gets weird, I'll call you. You know? Because I feel like if that roof fell down and we're both down there, bro, you're gone. You are gone.
In a heartbeat.
And I'm having to sit there and be like, but the books. The books, Jake.
Fuck them books.
The books. Jake. That's how we figure out this whole movie. It's these books right here.
We're done right now.
And then he's like cleaning the wall with some cleaner. And I'm like, what? No, not a chance. Because he finds some photos. This movie, there's some plot holes. And I hate saying it because it's such a good movie.
There are some plot holes.
And I think I was looking at this movie very cynically. Cynically? That seems right. Because I was like, it's too good to be horror.
There's gotta be problems.
I need inconsistencies. Because if you didn't have the inconsistencies, then it could be one of the top horror movies of all time. Because it is completely different. It pushes the envelope. It does something that hasn't been done too many times. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. But then you get inconsistencies. Did you pick out any inconsistencies that you can think up off the top of your head? I was so excited I just popped my watch.
Off the top of my head, no.
What? Boom. Here we go.
Well, how many do you have?
I can think of one right now, but
Okay.
I have so many more before we start.
Give me one.
So, in the big fight scene against Jonesy and Hughes,
Who is he?
what's his name? What's Denzel's name?
Oh, Hobbs.
Hobbs. I was way off. It was an H though. I tried my best. This demon is passed through touch. They fight hand to hand. He comes after him. He jumps on his back. They are touching all over each other. Nothing's passed. Explain that to me.
So it's
Explain that to me.
So they're touching at the same time, so it negates each touch.
No, it doesn't. Because it would have passed and it should have shown. I would rather
You
them.
would-
I would
So
rather
you'd rather
them,
it
of them
seem to
done it.
shoot back and forth?
Yes. Yes.
That'd been-
Because
that'd
it's
been-
consistent through the movie.
That'd
You're
been
telling me there's a
cheesy as
group.
fuck.
I don't give a fuck. There's a group of random fucking people in the street when they're chasing after the girl who are all like tripping and touching each
Yeah.
other like that.
Yeah.
For all you audio listeners that don't know, I just touched Jake's shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's passing via like fucking jet stream speed to catch her. And you're telling me that this demon who probably only wanted to be in his body wouldn't have just passed and just murked? Fuck Jonesy at that point. Jonesy's now irrelevant as soon as he jumps on you and touches you because now you are the demon. The whole end of the movie makes no sense because of that. And they did it just because it's like the raw action scene. But the whole fucking movie has led up to this whole touching of people. You should have protected yourself some more and not have jumped on his fucking back in order to not pass it. Because the whole reason he jumped on his back for him not to shoot himself in the fucking head was so that it wouldn't be passed to him. But then you jump on him and touch him? Guess what, bud? It's going to pass immediately to you. Because throughout this entire movie, think about the kid running down the street that hits the random teacher. He bumps into him running. That was not intentional. He was still trying to get away.
Yeah, here we go. So, Hobbs jumping down and hitting Jonesy, one, that's okay because the person who has it has to initiate the touch, as we've seen so far.
Accidental or not.
Every time we see it getting passed, it's that person touching them. Whether it's them touching them, bumping into them, it's him passing it to them.
But still, two
You
people.
can't just grab and take it from them.
Yes, you can.
No.
That's why the girl was so hesitant on not touching the guy in that scene. She could have pushed him away. Why do you think she didn't push him away?
It's him initiating the contact. Him putting his hand out first passes it.
The demon has always wanted to be in Denzel.
If that's the case, he could have been that close to when their feet touched. It would have passed to him. So, no.
Exactly.
They have to initiate it.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
That's how it's passed every time.
No, it's been accidental a couple of times.
No.
That kid running down the street was an accident. I think he was trying to fully get away and just happened to bump into that teacher and it became him.
You think that until you find out the teacher had a stolen prop gun from a stolen car.
The kid running didn't know that.
We don't know that.
We do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know that. I'll call him Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel. Where his fucking name is?
It's like the fucking ghost from Ghostbusters.
I don't
They got the
think.
craziest names.
Zool.
I wish this one was just Zool. It would be easier.
I don't think he was just. From
But you-
from watching it yesterday, I thought it was just coincidence. Watching it again today, I feel like maybe
You got a second viewing of it, you fucker.
maybe he knew, saw him coming. Okay, time to pass it off. Boom.
So now it's an omniscient demon, is what you're
Because
telling
there's no
me.
way
It's
that-
an omniscient
that
demon.
he affected that teacher. He walked to a random car and pulled a gun out, not knowing it was in there. It's bullshit.
It's a plot hole.
They said it's from a stolen car. That wasn't even his car.
It's an omniscient demon then.
It's a demon. It can do anything.
No, yeah, well,
It's-
yeah,
it's-
it has powers.
Yeah, it's not limited to what we can do.
It's not limited to what we can do, but it also means, you know what omniscient means, right?
Yeah, I got it.
All knowing.
Okay.
So this demon, the omniscient demon that it is, could scour a crowd of people and go, huh, this person right here is the one I want to be.
It wasn't a crowd of people.
I'm just saying, if you're going off of the theory that the demon knew that teacher had the stolen car and prop gun, it doesn't make sense.
It does. When you bring up the scene where she's running through the crowd, okay, and them initiating the touch to pass it to the next person to get to her.
That's just common knowledge of forward movement.
So what if someone was walking the other direction? Someone wasn't looking. They tapped that person. So they're going to
They're
turn
gonna
around.
have to turn around
They're
and
going
be
to
trying
turn
to get that
around.
shit going again.
No.
Yeah.
It's all.
Because then you go through the scene where Denzel's, when you have the all touching scene that really like gets it known to everybody, including the Denzel's character.
When they're in the
Their cop station, it
Yeah.
goes from the dude from
Sopranos.
Sopranos to the cop, and then the cop singing, and then also it deletes their memory for a little bit. You find out while they're under
Well,
that
I don't think it
demonic
deletes their
possession,
memory. It's
they just don't realize what they're doing.
They just didn't do it.
They don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the demon's in control at that point, which would be deleting, I guess,
It's not
current memories.
Not deleting.
I don't know. But anyway. So, what you're saying is that the demon,
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott,
Cool.
as we are now calling him,
Yeah.
knows that exact movement of any person that is going to be turned into him. That's what you're saying.
Let me ask you this.
I just asked you a question.
I know.
So can you answer my question
Okay.
before you ask a question?
Yes. Now let me ask you this.
Stupid.
The
It's
first,
stupid.
the second person, maybe the first, that they find, the guy, Charlie or whatever, he infects, who kills.
The second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying randomly they found this guy who happened to have, living under an alias, who has committed crimes in the past. He just coincidentally found this guy.
I just didn't realize that this was an omniscient demon, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying it is or isn't. I just didn't realize it.
So you're open to the idea?
I can be.
Are you?
I don't like it.
Are you?
I don't like it.
Are you though?
I can be.
Are you?
I can be.
I need a yes or no.
I can be.
I need a yes or yes.
Because if it was confirmed in this movie, then I would be cool with it, but it's not, which is fine. It's fine. The second thing that I wanted to mention, it's not a plot hole, but it's not a plot booster. It's a plot ruiner.
Okay.
Okay? So, I'm so happy I got to watch this with you because I know you know exactly what I'm talking about for the
Okay.
first time. All right. Once again, this is now, okay, let's go off of Jake's theory, okay? Let's use Jake's theory. This is an omniscient demon. He knows what's going to happen with the person that he's potentially going to possess. So that means this demon, who ultimately just wants to ruin the world, right? Isn't that the whole point in Azul or whatever his name is? Ezekiel, if we will.
Yeah.
He's Armageddon, correct? They mention it. It's Revelation in the Bible.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, sorry.
Yeah.
Apocalypse
Yeah.
and Revelation in the Bible, right?
Got
Which
it.
is the end of us,
Got it.
right? So you're telling me, and I know this is because it's the movie, but also, all right. So you're telling me, right?
Okay.
This demon, who has been around for quite some time, has probably dealt with quite some people who have tried to better him. He's comes across as a serial killer that Denzel's character catches. And then it spreads throughout the rest of the movie, right? You're telling me that you're trying to ruin the world. You're trying to destroy humanity at its core.
Okay.
Religion or whatever have you
Yeah.
going with, right? But your main fucking mission is to continually fuck with this cop? Why? If you're this omniscient being demon, you would know that he has the potential to better you. So, you're willing to risk it all to fight this one person because he takes you off.
Yeah. One, you know you can't be stopped. Two, technically he put an end to you being a serial killer in this person's body.
There are billions of other bodies that you can choose.
Wait, he liked this one.
Hell, you can go to fucking Zimbabwe and fucking slaughter thousands.
He liked this
And they
one.
don't have the policing, the detectives, the technology. It just doesn't make sense. If you're this
What I don't
world destroyer demon,
Okay.
why the fuck are you in New York? You know you're going to get caught.
Not necessarily.
You're an omniscient demon. You know the potential of the police that could catch you.
Yeah, police make mistakes.
Police do make mistakes. And
Boom.
also you can make it to where they get framed and they kill themselves, and that's a
Which-
part of the movie.
Which he already did that.
Which means you know, as this omniscient demon,
Okay.
that it gets a little spicy when you fuck around with cops.
I mean, you can't just not do it because you know the future. Fuck it. Let it roll.
you cannot do it.
There's no movie
If you're
then.
trying exactly. You're trying to be the world destroyer demon, and you get caught up in fucking high school drama.
He wasn't at first.
He has always been.
No, and I'll tell you why he hasn't been. Whatever spell, whatever fuck he says to
Yeah.
pass it, clearly it wasn't always in effect because he shakes his hand and nothing happens. He initiates the touch, nothing happens.
Could be considered a plot hole.
No.
Why not? Because you know,
Or it could be, you know what? My time in this body has ended. I need to put it back in,
put it back in circulation.
Yeah, so when I do die, I can go and find the next person and keep it going.
So you're saying that the cop, like the guy that killed himself,
Yeah?
who was after the other serial killer and then became
Yeah.
the demon thing,
He also figured it out
but he didn't because it still existed,
because someone else was there.
or an animal.
Which you find out at the end, yeah.
No, you find out throughout this entire movie because the cat has been used twice in this movie.
What was the first time?
At the precinct, when the cat's on the windowsill and Hobbs, is it?
Yeah.
Is sitting there and he's like, really paying attention to the video and he's reading the transcript and he's like, oh shit. He's like telling me what's about to happen right now. And the cat's like, meow, and then jumps down. And that's when the cat runs and rubs the leg of a cop walking in. He's putting a cigarette out, rubs the leg. And that's how the cop brings in the demon. And then it starts passing to the guy from The Sopranos because he bumps into him. It was a cat again.
Okay.
So the demon knows that it can use animals, which also, I feel like you could make it a little bit farther if you're just like a street rat, you know? You're just biting people's ankles.
I feel
Friend
like
shit.
if you're a street rat, it'll eventually get passed to a cat anyway. So just fuck the rat and go right to the cat.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's not a bad theory at all. But also, like, what's the end game here? Just to kill as many people as possible? That's the end game, right?
Well, that's the end game ultimately. But for right now, it is to tarnish the legacy of
Another cop.
John Hobbs.
Another cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you did it.
So he's got a vendetta against police for some reason.
Well, if you're a serial killer,
Well,
and-
the
and-
demon isn't. The demon is just an evil
if you're
entity.
in the body of one and they're catching you and putting an end to you being in that body, yeah, you got a fucking problem with them.
But also, if you did that well with one body, you can probably do it again if you just pick the right body.
I'm sure they did.
We
'Cause
don't.
I'm sure someone fucking dealt with that cat for a fact.
I'm just saying. Like there's like, I just don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I do.
yeah, because
I get that.
because of the way it panned out. At the end of the day, the movie's kind of fucking pointless. Like this, everything that we watched was
No,
for why.
I disagree.
Everything that we watched was for why.
Okay, you literally could use that logic
For
in any movie
Yeah. But
and
I'm
make it
talking
5
about
minutes long.
this one. Because there was never a part 2.
Okay.
There's no Falling in Reverse. That's the name of a band I just recently saw. Pow. Shout out to my metalcore fans.
I thought they pump up at Jerry's a lot.
Yeah, because I changed the channel.
Yeah, that's
put on
what I
like
thought.
metalcore music.
I think- I know what one of the names sound familiar.
And you
Now I
also
know.
hang out with me, so
True.
you had to listen to them.
That is
before.
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, at least I don't know. I just it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's not.
It sounds like you're saying it's not good.
I just
That it's pointless
I just feel like
because of one fucking flaw of their reasoning why they're doing it.
no, it's not one flaw. There's just flaws throughout the movie.
Everything has a flaw.
Everything has a flaw.
There's no perfect movie besides The Thing. There's no perfect movie.
Well, no, there is. Halloween 1978. Come on. We all know this.
I'm not familiar, but go ahead.
Fuck you. At least you didn't say fucking part 8.
I know the flaws with that movie, all right?
Teleporting Jason, and boats and hoes. It's a whole thing. No, I mean, it's a good movie. But if you're going with the Jake theory of an omniscient demon, you would then know that you probably wouldn't want to fuck with Hobbs. Because you know what he's capable
Okay,
of.
just because you know how something's going to turn out doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how that works.
Not at all.
Yeah, okay. Say
Nope.
this, right? You are standing at a street, right? And all of a sudden your brain goes, if you walk right now, you're going to get hit by a bus. You could live, but you're going to get hit by a fucking bus. You're still going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to take a step. No, you're not.
2 things. One, it's not the immediate future. One.
I mean,
And
if you're
two-
going from
and two-
the kid running to the fucking magical school teacher with a fake gun in the stolen car, it is immediate.
No, you know why? Because if he,
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what. First of all, the first thing. 2, you said I could die. I might live. 2, also, on the new thing you just mentioned,
Still going to suck.
the fact that he knew running and may bump into that guy, it leads up to the end of the movie. So you know you're not going to die today or tomorrow or the day after that. There's a ultimate game plan. It's all leading up to. It's not saying, I know it's going to happen. I'm going to die and be forgotten forever in 5 seconds. No,
Yeah, it's called plot devices.
I know in 2 weeks. I guess not.
Plot devices. That's all you're going with here.
The movie needs to continue. Is the point?
Yeah, but if you take this into a realistic world scenario,
Because okay, if being realistic, they find the serial killer.
Yeah.
They fucking gas him.
yep,
The movie is done.
that's cool with me.
That's a 2-minute movie.
Okay. Or you find the serial killer, you gas him, he says his little shit, and then it gets immediately into Hobbs because he touched him. Boom.
What's the point of that?
Because he's a cop and can kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, but someone could just touch him and he's out in 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh. That negates your omniscient
So now,
argument now.
So now the movie's in 10 minutes.
So you're saying it has to be intentionally spread, is what you said earlier. You have to have the intent of spreading it in order to spread it, which is not true, but you said it. Because
You have to initiate the touch.
yeah, okay.
Because every time we've seen it pass, it's always the person who has it either bumping or touching that person.
Yeah, okay. So, with my fight sequence between Jonesy and Hobbs,
You grabbed all clothes. You're good.
he jumped onto him,
And grabbed his clothes.
which means clothes have never been an issue, bro.
If Hobbs,
It has never
if
been
Hobbs-
skin-to-skin contact
Hobbs-
throughout this entire movie.
You're touching
Most of the
their
people
body.
are walking. Okay, so
Your
when
clothes aren't your
Hobbs
body.
Jesus fucking
They're not.
Dude, gloves have been touched. Shirts have been touched. Jackets
Gloves?
have been touched. Bro, when you watch the scene of all those people sharing it, when Hobbs is finding out that it's passing,
Their
from people to
hands are
people,
touching. They're touching
they're
each
wearing.
other.
It's winter. They're covered in clothes. It's as simple as this. It's an elbow bump.
They're-
fully clothed.
But they're touching, right?
fully clothed.
They're touching their body, not their clothes.
It's clothing touching clothing
So-
at the end of the day.
So if I have it and I do this, it's passed to you now?
Yeah,
No,
because
it's
you
not.
touched
Bullshit.
me intentionally. You
Bullshit,
just touched
dude.
me intentionally,
I touched
which
your
is
shirt.
your
Your
You're
shirt.
touching me intentionally, though, is
Body.
your argument.
You gotta touch your body.
No bodies have been done. No, you would have to have everybody walking around naked in order for that to count. Everyone walking around naked.
You can touch someone's body through their clothes.
It's touching someone.
Not their clothes, though.
He didn't just grab. He was being attacked, and he attacks back,
Hobbs-
which is a sharing
Hobbs
of touching.
Initiate the contact.
Doesn't matter.
That's why
because
initially it does nothing.
Exactly. Initially it does nothing.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Okay.
But in order to survive that situation,
Okay.
you have to then touch that person and get him the fuck off of you. And that happens.
You don't know that.
It's an intentional touching because you don't want him to be on you.
I'll tell you why. Boom.
Oh my god.
And I'll tell you right. Okay, so early in the movie,
What?
when the nephew, we find out, isn't affected, right? Or has him inside him or whatever.
Plot hole. Punches him in the eye.
When Hobbs figures it out and he sees him, how does he grab him?
By his clothes.
By his clothes. Just in case physical touch can pass, he grabs
Okay.
him by his clothes.
So you're saying right now that the kid was possessed, correct? He punched his daddy in the fucking eye. That's an intentional touch.
Okay?
Didn't go to the dad. It stayed with the boy.
You don't know that.
Why?
You don't
I
know
do,
that.
because it was
How?
never shown or talked about.
So because it wasn't shown, you know what happened.
Yeah, it would be a part of the movie. That's all we can go off of.
You could have
Since
passed
you're going off of this fucking clothing bullshit.
that I've seen.
Bruh,
I saw it.
everybody's wearing clothes in this movie.
I disagree. I'm just saying it can be passed by physical touch, not just grabbing their clothes.
Bruh, no. Think about so many things that happen in this movie.
No.
Because you're just, like, if you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, that's still just a bump.
Yeah, but you're touching my body too, though. You
No,
tapping me?
you're touching clothing that
Okay.
has a body
If
to
I
it.
do this, am I touching your body at all?
You did. You touched my
Okay.
arm in order to
Okay.
pinch my shirt. Yeah, let's go ahead and see how hard it is just to touch my clothes.
Well, the first
Let's
time I
prove a
did it,
point.
I touched just the shirt.
You always, your fingertips caress my arm, dude.
The first
Look,
time,
ready? I touched you. I'm just trying to grab clothes, but I accidentally touched
so
you.
it passed through.
Bro, okay. So you're saying if I
Pass again.
jumped on your back
Okay.
and I go, I'm not going to somehow touch you?
If you initiate the contact and you don't have it, then no.
Dude, why are you
That's-
arguing this the wrong way?
That's the movie. From what I visually saw, that's what I gathered.
Yeah, from what I visually saw, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Because that scene right there should have been quid pro quo back and forth demon share.
That would look fucking awful.
It would have, but also, or what could have happened is when he grabbed him and yeeted him off of him, it would have been Hobbs possessed, and then he couldn't really do his plan. Didn't work out in the end, but still.
Okay.
I'm just saying, bud. You are so interesting sometimes.
I try to be.
You are so interesting sometimes because you know I'm right. You do. At the end of the day, you know I'm right, and you just can't let me have it. You just can't. Is it a good movie? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Does
it is
it
a
have
good
plot
movie.
holes? Fuck yes.
Every movie does.
Every movie does, but you're disagreeing with them is the problem.
Because I can see around them.
When it's convenient
and I can see
to you.
how it could make sense.
When it's convenient to you. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
No.
I just did. Yeah, you're wrong.
This is convenient to you because you like this movie.
It's not
You don't
con-
want the movie to seem bad,
No.
so you're going to fight for anything that you can
No.
going off of this bullshit
Lots of
body
movies
clothing
have
theory.
flaws that are so good.
Okay. But if you were to compare this movie versus Jason Takes Manhattan,
Okay.
Jason Takes Manhattan has plot holes the size of fucking Texas,
Okay.
and you still love it and will fight for it.
I love
is
it
my
for
point.
for personal reasons.
No, but
This
you still,
movie-
even in our episode that we covered,
Yeah.
you fought for it
Yeah.
like you are now.
But
because it fits.
But I also admit then it's for personal reasons why I like that movie.
Yeah, but still, you still fight for them.
This movie is just my eyes told me this, so it's how I think.
But my eyes are telling me the truth.
I disagree with that.
Because I'm logical. I'm going about this logically.
All right. I mean, I guess we're done with the movie now at this point.
We're not.
We should be.
We didn't necessarily talk about the big elephant in the room.
Which is how it ends?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we find out early in the movie that when the body you're in dies,
Yep.
it can last like a breath,
A breath.
and it goes to the next living thing it sees.
Yeah. Go ahead and take a breath for me.
That was a breath.
That was a breath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were like 3 lines of dialogue while this thing was floating through the air, and then the cat decided to come out of the woods.
3 lines that we heard.
Still, it said a breath. Ready?
Yeah, but we're hearing someone who's not there.
It's a breath.
Yeah, but
How many breaths does it take to completely say a sentence?
I mean, I feel like you can say a sentence in one breath.
If you talk fucking quick,
I just did that.
you
That
don't
was-
realize
That was one breath.
you're breathing.
I hope so. I'd be dead.
Exactly.
What?
It's a breath. What exactly constitutes the time of a breath? That's a horrible measurement of time.
They also use cubic space as well.
Yeah, I know, but still, the cubic space and breath theory,
Okay.
just they should have quickened it up because you now have 2.
Well, you can't quicken space, so
Well,
it is what it is.
the breath theory.
Okay.
All right, so if you're saying it lasts a breath, right? Which to me, I could say, I agree with your one sentence statement. That you can probably get a good sentence out before you have to, all right, take another breath,
Okay.
right? But it was lines of dialogue where he's talking about, oh, wait, I said how I almost died.
Yeah, that already happened. That's not him talking in the
He's
moment.
talking in
He's-
the moment of the movie.
He was not. He's narrating
Yeah, but it's
what
the
already
demon
what
narrating.
already happened. That wasn't in
But
that
even
moment.
if you watch the scene, it's probably a good amount of time.
No, if you can watch it, you can tell he's not live talking about what's happening right then and there
How could you possibly know that?
from just looking at it.
You
and
watch
hearing
the
him talk.
movie, it's floating around 2 carcasses of dead people.
Okay.
And then a cat has to go from the wood line to that area. The timing doesn't make sense. The cat takes its time. It's not running. It's just like
Okay.
doing cat shit.
We're not live watching it happen.
I was live watching.
It's
it happen.
already happened. That's why he said he reminds us of what he said, not because it's happening right now. It already happened. He's telling a story.
Once again, guys, it fits his narrative.
It's just using your eyes and watching the
I was
movie.
watching the movie. I bet if you go back from that last scene, it's probably a 2.5 minute scene.
Okay.
From death to cat
No.
possession.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Sure.
Also, I feel like a breath for me and you is not the same as a breath for Michael Phelps.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Phelps.
We don't know how long how their breath can last. We don't know. We don't know.
General.
We don't know.
General.
We don't know. But from watching the movie, you can tell it's not live what's happening. It's him narrating what happened.
So he
The whole movie
was
is from,
just telling us
the whole movie is from his point of view.
Whose?
Zeke Elliott.
Dude, you are fighting so hard for
No.
this movie, and I love you for it.
He says how he almost died. Now, you know it wasn't Hobbs because Hobbs is fucking laying there dead.
Okay,
So
but
it's not
my
Hobbs telling
thinking
the
is
story.
he dies.
Boom.
It then exits the body. That's where the clock starts.
And in 30 seconds, it finds the cat.
The cat was meandering, meowing around.
No, fast cats move.
This cat was not moving very fast.
Also, how fast this demon can move.
I just, and it's also a cat. It's my least favorite animal in the whole wide world. I'd rather it have been like a bear. That'd be cool. Or like a squirrel, like something.
That's faster.
Exactly. It makes more sense. And you're also in the middle of nowhere. Why is there just a cat? They're not privy to the woods. Like felines are in the cities. They're not just walking around the woods. I think this director has a weird obsession with cats because this is the second time cats were used and like the main focal point of the movie. Maybe he's a cat guy.
Could be.
I don't like cat guys. So maybe that's where I get a little angry about this
That
movie.
could be. Okay.
Yeah. If it was a fucking wolf, yeah, dude. A fucking beaver, I'm for it. An owl, ooh, ooh. Yeah, dude, that makes sense.
Yeah, but those are never being touched by anybody. Who's gonna fucking?
Nobody touched. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
You
the
want
point.
it to be a touchable animal.
Yeah,
That just fits into your fucking love
and
of
fits.
this movie.
It fits into the fucking logic of the movie.
Yeah, but you'd have to have a cat
You don't want
wandering
to.
through the woods.
You don't want to live in a cat for. You don't live in like a fucking Wolverine forever.
Why not? You could still touch somebody.
You want to be a person.
I mean, I don't know.
People are going to touch.
I don't want to be a person right
People
now.
are going to touch that dumbass cat. They're going to, and they did. Guaranteed.
Well, the cat touched the person. when it
Guaranteed.
Firstly transferred.
Yeah,
He didn't
'cause-
even pet the cat. It just.
Because they knew what happened.
Right up to his
It's just
chin.
a cat. That's fine. Boom. We're done.
You have a bear running at people. It's going to be a little tricky.
Yeah. No one's going near that bear.
Okay, I'll give you this one argument from all
Thanks.
of our arguments is that
I'll take
cats
that.
are more approachable.
Then bears. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, that's the movie. Anything
Right.
else you want to add?
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.
You're done.
I'm ready to rate this thing.
You said, "Fuck this. I'm done talking to you, Josh."
I'm ready to rate it.
You're done talking to me about this movie. Is what you're saying.
Unless it's ratings, yeah, I'm done.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate Fallen from 1998?
On a scale from 1 to 10, Fallen for me is a 7.5.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty good score, bud.
What is it for you?
6.
Okay.
6.75.
Okay.
6.5.
Pick a number.
Ah, fuck. All right. What did we watch last week?
Stuff.
Yeah, that was a 6.5 for me.
Enough is never enough.
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough. 6. I'm sticking with my guns here. It's a 6 because
Huh?
I was super pissed off about those couple of things.
Okay.
It's a great movie overall,
Okay.
but you know how I feel about endings of movies.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, but okay.
You know how I feel about endings of movies.
Yeah, that's,
It's a personal thing. That's why they're fucking ratings, bud.
yeah. You give me shit all the time about my ratings.
Because you'll
they're too
argue
high.
a movie.
They're too high.
You'll talk about a movie and your rating won't match what you just said about
You
it.
started
My
saying how
rating-
great this movie was. It's a fucking 6?
It's a great movie. It's above a 5.
That was great. Was it a 5? That makes no sense.
People didn't enjoy it more than I did. I'm not going to misconstrue them at the beginning. I have to butter them up, get them in here, get them listening and watching these movies. And then I got to hit you with the fucking facts at the end of it. It's a fucking 6. And it's going to stay a 6. You know why? For a plethora of reasons that I've already mentioned throughout this episode. Ba-boom. Thank you for coming. All right, bud. Well, fuck. We didn't do our board. And our board's kind of hurting right now.
We got some time. We'll figure it out.
Well, we won't let you guys know what we're covering next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
If you guys have any submissions, submit them before, what do you say, Friday, Saturday? Saturday. If you guys submit before Saturday, August, what is Saturday? Let's see here. If you submit a submission before Saturday, August 12th of 2023, we will put it into consideration for an episode because we got super excited about covering this one. Neither one of us knew what we were going to feel about this one. I'm kind of shocked and appalled.
I'm fucking shocked and appalled as well.
But if you guys have any ideas at all, you know where to go. www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com, or you can go to the comment section of YouTube. You can go to the comment section of Instagram. You can go to the comment section. I don't think anything else has a comment section, so just those two things.
Just comment.
Comment if you guys are at all interested in covering something. We'll put it up to debate against me and Jake here. Let's see. September 8th through the 10th. We are going to be at Tidewater Horror Convention.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we are going to be there. We're going to be there all fucking weekend. We are going to have a table at the Tidewater Horror Convention this year.
Yeah.
This is our first time ever having a table at a horror convention. Mind you, our friendship is built off of horror conventions, and now we are a part of one locally here in Virginia Beach / Norfolk, Chesapeake area.
Come say hi.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. We're going to be there all weekend. We're going to have some homies up there. We'll hopefully have some stuff. We'll hopefully have some stuff for you guys.
I mean, we'll be there.
We'll be there. You guys can meet us, talk to us, chat with us. We'll probably have our equipment if you guys want to do on-the-spot interviews or things like that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
It would be, yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be there all weekend. Obviously, we love anybody that supports our local horror community. So the Tidewater Horror Convention for our area is the biggest thing we have. So we are super excited to be a part of it. So big shout out to Tidewater Horror Convention. Big shout out to all you fans that are going to come out and support us. That would be super amazing. Big shout out to our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music, Trademark Printing, who does printing. It's kind of in their title. Big shout out to Jake for being sometimes the world's greatest co-host in the world. This week,
Thank you.
He kind of missed his mark, but it's cool. You know, I still love him. He says some crazy shit sometimes, but we all love him. All of you guys are probably going to agree with him on this fallen episode.
Yeah, 'cause I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Next week, we have no idea. Comment down below what you guys want to hear. This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great weekend. Always remember, it's hip to be squared.